Today's episode is going to be about the health effects of earthing, or they call it grounding. It's some incredible data showing this, especially now in the time where we spend a lot of time in front of the screen. There he is. Hi,
How are
Dr.
you
Kumar.
doing, Tanya? Long time.
Yes, I was like, and I saw that story, and I'm like, Dr. Kumar always talks about grounding and earthing, and we need to talk about this. It's so important, especially today with everyone so glued to their screen.
Absolutely. Whenever we are ready to go, I'm good to go. Good to get started.
We are ready. I'm just going to start pinning up some of the stories you send me to make sure so people can follow.
Yep.
And I think that you and I have spoken about this before. I see that one day in the future, people, the doctors, and I think you've done this for to your patients also, where you prescribe time away from the computers and technology, and just go outside and walk in the dirt or sand or a grass or go to the beach.
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Listen. My interest in earthing started when I dove into this whole world of medical acupuncture. Like about 6 years ago. So I'm an oncologist. For those of you who do not know me, I have been helping thousands of cancer patients over the past 25 years in Palm Beach County and St. Lucie County of Florida. And 6 years ago, I got involved in medical acupuncture after having undergone training at Harvard Medical School, and that opened up this whole world of quote unquote alternative medicine. It's not an alternative in my mind; it's integrative, which means you get the best of both worlds. Okay, whatever is not traditional medicine, mix that up with the best of traditional medicine, and our patients rock. The results are much more than either one of them. It's not alternative or traditional. I think it's a combination of both. At the end of the day, what do patients care? They just want to feel better. So I kind of stumbled upon this grounding and earthing um, about 3 years ago, actually brought about by one of my patients. I asked me about earthing. I said I had no clue. I had no idea what it was. So there are tons of articles on PubMed about the benefits of earthing and grounding, and I make it a point to inform every patient that I come across, no matter what. You have a pulse. You need to expose yourself to bare ground at least 20, 30 minutes a day. So what we want to explain is, why is this needed, how does it work, what's the mechanism, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be breaking down in whatever little time that we have. By the way, I also want to mention there is a website called the earthinginstitute.net. This is an organization that talks about the science of earthing and grounding and stuff like that. So for those people who are curious, go ahead and check this website out. So let's get started. So what's going on with the human civilization right now: chronic pain issues, chronic inflammatory issues, chronic medical conditions, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, um, uh, s- uh, autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus. Cancer is another example of things that are really going wrong with humanity. So, what partly this has escalated ever since using footwear has become widespread. When I was growing up in India, as when I remember as a kid, till about 10 years of age, we would be outside playing bare feet, you know, exposed to the ground, no shoes, no slippers, and only time that We had to wear shoes. Was it part of our uniform to attend school? But otherwise, it was just bare feet all day long at home or outside. So none of us used to have all these major problems. In fact, in my 10 years of being a doctor in India, there was only one breast cancer patient that I had seen. That's it. One breast cancer woman. And out here in the US, we see 3 or 4 new breast cancer patients every week. And my practice is in a very small community in Central Florida where I take care of cancer patients. So there is something going on there. And all this is attributed to what's called an electron deficiency syndrome. I'll take a bet. 99% of the physicians have no clue what I'm talking about. But go do your own research on this condition called electron deficiency syndrome. So what it says is, our body, because of the metabolic processes, we take antioxidants to kind of safeguard the damage that's created by metabolic activity. So metabolic activity strips away electrons from different molecules that precipitates chronic inflammation, chronic this, that, and the other. So the only way you can protect against that is through supplements, antioxidants, and 99% of the physicians are fully aware of what that means. Fish oil to whatever antioxidant, you name it, we have tons of it. But the biggest antioxidant on the planet is right under your feet. It's a rich source of electrons, and all you have to do is expose your bare feet 20-30 minutes a day, and there's tons and tons of experimental data showing how much of a benefit this is across all age groups. I'm talking about babies in a crib to the oldest, anybody and everybody across the planet is deprived of this rich source of electrons that's right under your feet, that you prevent them from getting into your body using gloves and feet shoes and whatever. So there's a big disconnect between the protective mechanism of electrons in the ground and the need of the body. And we are trying all kinds of different ways of trying to get these antioxidants in our body to protect ourselves, while the richest source is right there. All you have to do is touch it, expose yourself to it, and you're done. So how is this proven? It's both clinical and thermographic imaging. So clinical. Let's talk about one particular situation that really spiked my interest. And this was a condition where a woman was carrying her baby, with griping, and the baby was screaming his head off. And she walked out with the baby in her arms, walks outside, bare feet, and within a few minutes, the baby stops crying. And she comes back inside, puts her shoes on, and the baby starts screaming again. Well, is it because of the environment or exposure to the outside world? But the point is that exchange of electrons even had an impact on the baby that did not have any connection to the earth, but through the mother. So there are tons and tons of examples of how the electron deficiency is corrected, which means it takes care of not only the deficiency of electrons, and so it's anti-inflammatory. It could be part of anti-aging. It could be part of skin health, gut health, brain health. In fact, there is an article in PubMed with a picture of it's actually a nice graphic which includes all the benefits of the body from across the board. And if somebody's interested, I can send you a link to this specific articles, and you guys can read through it. And also, this can be demonstrated with thermal imaging. Increased blood flow that happens because of the exposure to um, to grounding. So uh, tons of articles, like I said, most doctors are not aware of this. I think this should be a matter of kind of a little bit of a lifestyle change. What I tell patients is, listen, you need to make sure that you're safe. You're not treading on fire ants and bugs and stuff like that. So as long as you have a safe area, spend as much time, whether you do gardening or just stand there or even walk on the grass or take your pet out, whatever, get at least 10, 15, 20 minutes of it every day, and this will change your life. So that is the medical side of earthing. On the other side, I found a couple of articles talking about how having neighborhoods with greenery can improve mental health. Now, has that got anything to do with grounding? That article doesn't talk about that, but I'll take a bet there's some kind of a correlation there on improvement of mental health in the community by having open areas of greenery. So there we go. The other article that I also saw was how having clean, well maintained green space actually reduces crime. Now, is there a correlation between crime, mental health, and grounding and earthing? I mean, we can draw our own conclusion on that. But all we need to do is kind of bring awareness on cheapest method of getting antioxidants into our system. Doesn't cost us anything, and this can be part of our everyday activity. Yes, we do need our supplements, your exercise, diet, and all the other good stuff, but don't forget the huge benefits of earthing, that I think all physicians need to be aware of. And all you have to do is ask the right questions to PubMed, and you'll get tons of answers, tons of well-written articles, and also this website which is rich in resources about earthing, called the earthinginstitute.net. So go ahead, get your research done, get your quota of electrons every day, and just, you know, go on to live a happy and healthy life.
You're right about that. I noticed, like, I actually forgot about earthing until I saw that article and I shared it with you, and then we started talking about it. So today I woke up, and instead of me sitting and listening, looking at my phone, or I went outside and started watering my grass and my flowers, and because usually, I have a landscaper, but
Yeah,
I found myself walking on the grass and feeling very happy, just walking, and while the sun was beaming. I did it for an hour, just like went outside and just kind of like walk around and water my grass and kind of like cleaned up my area just a little bit. And I told myself, I need to be doing this every single day,
yeah.
before I start my day.
So Tanya, I think you nailed a few points here. Okay, number one, earthing is something that we need to do outside, right? There's also a gizmo. There is what's called an earthing patch that people can use attached to your skin and ground it somehow while you're sleeping, and apparently it does improve your sleep pattern.
There's a
I
patch,
mean,
really? I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
there is a patch available, so I can send out a link to you so you can pin it to. That was something that was surprising, which means, for example, if an elderly person is stuck in a nursing home and there's no way they can get out, using these patches, and that's what they do for babies too, by the way. Babies who are recovering in bassinets and up in the ICU or whatever, there is a possibility that you can actually use a tiny little skin patch on the baby's skin and have it grounded, and it does help them recover. These are some amazing things that I'm discovering, and it's such a natural process. And I mean, listen, I've been a physician for over 30 years, and it's only been for the past couple of years that I've been kind of aware of all this. I mean, this science has been around for a while, so this is not something new. It is new to me and to you, but it's around for a lot of people. So, you know, and it's such a simple thing, which is probably the reason why people don't know about it, don't care about it, because it's too damn simple and too good to be true. How can something this inexpensive has such horrendous benefits? I mean, right? It just sounds too like too much. There's just no way. It sounds like woo woo stuff. So this is something that I think more people need to know about it. And again, we're not asking too much of people. I mean, take some safety precautions, but get out there. Get out there. And it's not only getting out there, but also it's going to keep you away from whatever stuff that EMF is doing to us, and all that other good stuff that I'm not sure about. But it does give you a good reason to get out and spend some time in nature. So which means for people who go camping, be aware that of all these additional benefits that you're getting being out there in the open. Can you imagine? I'm not a big time camper. In fact, I've never gone out camping, but I have enough of a yard at the back that I spend, walking my dog all around. And if you see these dogs, they're just happy when they go out. It's probably the electron deficiency that's being corrected. I mean, my Pomeranian poodle is 18 years old, and she behaves like a 2-year-old chick. I mean, the amount of energy
That's
that she has.
great. Yeah, yeah. No,
You
I
know?
noticed. I have 4 dogs, and my one dog, she has like joint issues and stuff. But
Yeah,
when I take her out, she just walks and
happy.
sits right in the middle of the grass and sits there and doesn't move. She
Yeah,
just sits
doesn't
there
move.
and basks in the sun, and she's happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. Again, I've been kind of trying to understand this whole area of subtle energy medicine. And again, as a physician, we need concrete science, we need concrete data, we need to see the effects, we need to see the benefits, and all that is crystal clearly out there. It's just a question of us having the curiosity to take a look at it, advise patients about it, do it ourselves and demonstrate the benefit, and spread the word. I mean, the reason that we do these talks is to spread the word of such simple things that can change people's lives. I mean, you're talking about exponential changes, by spending 10 minutes out there on the grounds, having such a huge benefit. That's truly unbelievable. But I wish more physicians would become aware of this and, you know, start helping their patients. I mean, it's so simple.
Especially now with everything that the world has gone through. I mean,
Yeah.
especially like I really feel like my siblings, my sister, she had gotten COVID, and they have a pretty nice quiet backyard, so the whole family got it, so they sat outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They sat outside, and you know what? They sweated, and she worked on her yard, and she got better right away. Like within 4 days, she was like, "Oh my god, I feel so much better." And every day they woke up, they went outside, they sat outside for a little bit, and they go back in. They sat outside again, and she feels like every time she walked in the grass, she was able to breathe better. She was able to like feel more focused,
Yeah.
and then for her, she works on the computer all day long, so it was an incredible feeling. And it took COVID to make her go outside. Just she goes outside and play with her kids and stuff, but they went outside focused on sitting in the grass.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I was just looking for earthing patch on Amazon. Guess what? There's tons of these gizmos out there. Take a look at it. And this is something that you can use for indoor use. I mean, listen, if you're living in an apartment or a condo, like 10 floors up, chances are you have to be really motivated to go out bare feet. But this seems to be a decent alternative. So in this day and age, you have absolutely no excuse not to be grounding, right? If you spend a few bucks, you can do it right at home, and actually helps. Like I said, sleeping issues is one of the most common things that I find in my cancer patients. You know, so no matter what you try, put them on all kinds of stuff, it doesn't work. And but this is something that you can consider. Maybe this might help, and why not? Simple. You agree?
Oh no, I agree. I love it. I heard about it years ago when I was covering a healthy lifestyle event, that type of
Mm.
deal. And when the speaker, I have to remember who spoke about this. I have to go through my notes. But when she talked about it, a lot of people are like, "Oh," and I was kind of like, "Well, that makes sense," you know. And she was talking more about the beach. Go to the beach, put your feet and walk on the sand, and you know. She called it grounding, and she said you would make such a huge difference. And you know, I was doing that a little bit about that back then. I would I was living like literally on the beach, and so I would go and walk, and I felt really good. And before that, I remember when I was a makeup artist at Saks, and you know, I had like really bad chronic pain, but because I lived on the beach, I would like walk across the street and just throw myself in the ocean. I mean,
Hmm.
literally throw myself in the ocean and just kind of like let the waves push me all the way to all over the place.
Hmm.
I would get done and show up to work at Sexth Avenue by 9:30 in the morning, feeling so rejuvenated, so incredible. And I don't think I've ever felt so healthy back then, even though I had just gotten in a car accident. I was suffering from a lot of chronic pain, but that time I spent on the ocean was incredible. And I guess you could consider that earthing, right?
Yeah. So listen, that reminds me. Back in 2012, in my younger days, I decided to run on the beach bare feet. Okay, this was up in Port St. Lucie area. So I started off by walking. Initially, a few blocks, just on the beach, on the sand, right next to the water, and it took me about 3 months. I mean, going there every Saturday for me to run 15 miles in 4.5 hours, bare feet on on the sand of the beach. That was the toughest and the most amazing experience that I've had ever in terms of ability to exercise, and that felt amazing. And the only reason that I turned around at 7.5 miles was because I was running out of water. I had 2 bottles of water, and I set out at about, I think, 6 or so in the morning. It took me about 4.5 hours to complete 15 miles. So that was amazing. I've not been able to recreate that kind of energy. Obviously, I'm 10 years older right now, or 11. So, but anyway, that's a possibility. So this grounding business, I think, should apply to everybody across the board, whether you're healthy or sick or whatever, recovering, doesn't matter. I think this should be, standard part of everyday life for everybody across the board.
Like
So
I said, I see the days when there's a prescription pad and one of them be written up, you know,
grounding,
grounding, have
you're
60 minutes of
grounded.
grounding.
No, tell them you're grounded for 10 minutes every day, whatever.
You know, like 15 minutes, you're grounded for
You're
15 minutes
grounded
every day.
every day.
Follow this, and we'll check your blood pressure in
Yeah,
the next 60 days and see what
yeah,
happens. And
yeah,
and I'm kind of curious with that too. You know, that would be a really cool clinical study with somebody like, because now with the smartphone, with the iPhone and the Android, everything is so you can track yourself and everything you do. And
yeah,
I think there's some apps you can probably. I think you had one that way you can check your
yeah.
heartbeat,
Heart
your
rate, yeah,
yeah,
HRD. So all this has
yep.
been proven. Your vagal tone increases, your ability to exercise increases, your blood pressure drops, blood flow increases across the board. So I mean, there's tons of images, especially demonstrated through thermography. You take a picture before and after and see the difference in blood flow, how everything kind of calms down, everything quietens down, blood flow improves. I mean, it's freaking amazing. Again, I don't think it's you do it one day and forget about it for 2 months. I think, like I said, we need to make this a regular lifestyle. So I
So I'm
mean,
saying
you
I'm
have,
serious. We need to add this as your prescription pad
yeah.
at the
No,
end.
I do talk to my patients about this, but you know what? Unless patients walk out with the prescription in their hand, some patients at least don't realize the value of this. It sounds like woo woo and stuff like that. So what I do is I give them an actual copy of the article for them to take home and share it with their family. I say, listen, this is a doctor's orders, a doctor's prescription, and here's the data to support it. Knock yourself out. You rather spend tons of money on your co-pays for your prescriptions and doctor's visits, or just spend some time outside and reduce the cost? And that's what we need for the entire planet. I mean, look at our chronic illnesses that are growing through the roof. On one side, you and I have been talking about age reversal and anti-aging and all this other good stuff, but on the other side, people are running off the cliff. with chronic illnesses. So this would be a nice starting point to at least prevent chronic illnesses or at least mitigate it, and then we can definitely talk about age reversal. Hormone replacement, that is another. So all of them need to come together. But this is the simplest, the cheapest, and the most inexpensive, with absolutely no side effects. Yeah, unless you get bitten by a fire ant, that's not a side effect. That's being stupid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but even if you think about age reversal, we talk about that, like you said. But if you think about the elderly who live in these assisted living facilities,
Yeah,
who are not exposed to sunlight, or they're not even taken outside, or even like have someone bring them outside and have them sit and have their foot on the ground.
yeah,
Just made an area where they all can come and just wheel up their wheelchair, and just put them in a chair and let them put their feet on the ground for a few
that's
minutes
right.
just to feel it. Uh, I wish someone would try to do a clinical study like that to see what would happen if someone is wheelchair bound, but then they're put on
Yeah,
somewhere where they can put their feet in dirt or sand from the beach.
yeah,
What would it be like for them if they
yeah.
did it for 30 to
And
60 days?
you know what? The next step for them would be to get engaged in some kind of gardening, whatever, even if it's small. Gives them something to look forward to, right? And they see something that they can do, develop a little bit of a passion. And can you imagine how much of a of a benefit that would accrue to all these people who are just locked up in these nursing homes with absolutely very little exposure to the outside world? Can you imagine the benefits that would accrue, not only to the patients themselves but to their families?
Oh yeah, no,
You
I'm
know?
going to tell you right now. I always tell people, when I was the monarch butterfly breeder, because of you,
Yeah, that's
you
what
gave me
I
that.
have.
You,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I spent so much money, but I was so happy. I was so productive. My company was exploding, and I had a lot going on. But I look forward to going checking on my monarch butterflies and
yeah,
looking at the milkweeds and trying to make sure they have the good. It made me feel so good. I was close to nature. I was
yeah,
like, and I was also raising monarch butterflies, and those little, the people like ask me why do I do that, and I'm like, well, it actually made me really happy. Something really simple, but
yeah.
yet so astounding. Just to watch them, within 10 days.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, I have tons of milkweed all around my house. So we have butterflies just gravitating toward it. It's just a fun time In fact, actually, I'm sitting near the back of the house, watching all these butterflies just hanging around this area where all these milkweed is just blossoming like crazy. It's a fun thing. Again, this is something that listen, at the end of the day, all of us want to live happy, less dependent on medications. And what more simpler than just reconnecting with nature? I mean, it's just a basic human need, which we have forgotten. We've kind of disconnected from nature.
I think
Now,
because as
yeah,
technology gets further and further and further along, those simple things that we remember, and I feel sad, but then I'm so glad to host these type of spaces with you because it kind of like invigorate people and kind of like, hey, how long I've been holding my phone and how long I've been indoor. I've literally have gone for weeks without going outside because I was
yeah,
busy doing my shows and building websites and doing all kinds of stuff, not even looking up from my computer. And then I realized how it makes me so unhappy. I was still overwhelmed and I'm snappy and I'm like it really messes your mental health. But then now you bringing it back to me, like talking to me about it, and just giving, raising awareness. It's free, right? It doesn't cost anything, and being aware can save you because you're looking into it. You feel motivated. You feel active. It's awareness activate. That's what I feel like saying.
yeah. And happiness. At the end
Oh,
of the day, you want
happiness.
to be happy, and that's, and Tanya, you've seen me evolve over the past 5, 6 years, ever since I've known you. And you've seen the changes that I've gone through just, you
Oh my
know,
God, I have pictures of you in the first in the early days.
yeah.
I
I
have
mean,
pictures.
yeah, relating to Bill Falloon, you and Bill, and it's just been an amazing ride. I tell you what, guys, for those of you who don't know, Tanya is a fountain of energy, a fountain of knowledge, and a social butterfly, which means she'll connect you with anybody, that you want to on the planet. I'm not sure you can get in touch with the president, but short of that,
Not right now.
you
I
make,
don't.
yeah.
I don't
But
want to get involved in anything when
no,
it comes
but
to that.
you are the one, Tanya, and being very obvious about this. You know how to connect the dots. You know who to connect who to. I mean, this is something that I've really appreciated with you. Without your connections and without connecting to you, you know what, my health would be a lot less positive than where it is right now. I'm just
Oh, thank
rocking it.
you. Well, I want to also put a shout out. If it wasn't for Bill Falloon, who is the
Yeah,
co-founder of Life Extension, who is a major person in the Age Reversal Network, which is agereversal.net. If you guys want to go check him out, he has worked and researched with Brian Delaney, who's the president of Age Reversal Network. They have literally formed a community with scientists, doctors, researchers, biohackers, and they have a forum, and we share different protocols. But they came up with I think there's 10 or 11 pillars right
yeah,
now for age reversal.
yeah,
Because of I haven't done all of them. I just follow parts of it. Dr. Kumar is listed on there as one of the age reversal doctors, but I go to that website to find out what's up, what's going on, and then I'm part of Life Extension as far as I use all my products. I work with them. So it's lifeextension.com. You guys check it out. And, I think I'm going to start adding them as because it should be sponsored by Life Extension.
yeah. No, no,
That's what
it's
it is.
all good. It's all good. The fact that Bill Fullen is watching us is all the blessing that we need.
Yes. I mean,
So
again, if it wasn't for Bill, I don't think my
we would
health,
have.
my mental, yeah,
I
none
don't
of
think
this
we
would
would have
happen.
connected. you know.
Well,
So
I think if it wasn't for Bill Falloon, if none of this would happen, really, because he
that's
gave me the
that's right.
opportunity to learn so much and believe in what I see and I talk about, and he believes in that. So I'm grateful for that. So, but
Absolutely.
I'm very grateful for you, Dr. Kumar, and I've learned so much from you too. So, but I want to always let people know all those pictures of that and videos that I show of my monarch butterflies, it came because of you, because of you.
Hey, God bless the monarch butterflies. We need more people to breed monarch butterflies. Go figure it out. I mean, plant two milk thistle weed plants, and you will have the butterflies coming to you. You don't have to chase them; they'll come to you, lay eggs, and hatch, and
Yeah,
produce
I went and bought
caterpillars.
3 milkweed plants. I just left it there, and within a
Yeah,
couple of days, I had like these little caterpillar, tiny baby ones, and then they start eating it, and then next thing I know, I wake up, they're like these huge, and then the process is so beautiful, and I captured every single moment that I could,
yeah,
and it really helped me a lot. It was a good. It was a. I'm actually now I have a whole area. I think I'm going to start growing milkweeds now.
yeah.
Is it hard to take care of milkweeds since because I
Not
noticed my
really.
butterfly
No,
ate.
you just let them be. They're just happy to be there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that
Yeah,
out
they're just
because my
happy to be there.
butterflies ate so much milkweeds that I had to go buy more plants. But I
Yeah,
think if I
yeah.
grew the milkweeds, I wonder what would happen.
No, no, we need more people breeding monarch butterflies, guys. It's one of the most wonderful thing that you guys can do to help nature along because monarch butterflies as a species is declining for all kinds of reasons. Climate change is one of them. But do your small part in breeding these butterflies. And again, so I've got to leave. I'm
Yes,
pretty
this is our.
close
We got
to.
over 3 minutes. This is our 30 minutes short health spaces. So again, Brent, I want to say thank you for being here, Brent, and hi, God Body. Thanks for being here. Again, Dr. Kumar, before we let you go, can you tell our listeners how to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So my website is lifewellmd.com. If you have comments, suggestions for future topics, whatever it is, you can always text message us at 772-332-9975. Happy to hear from you. Absolutely. And we'll catch up next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. for another edition of Virtual Film Festival. I'll be producing it. So again, thank you, everyone. And we'll be back next week at 1:30 for our next short health spaces. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, guys.